You know the phrase, you can't win for trying? I'm going to prove that point in this segment. Now, if you were walking yourself through Magaville last night, you would have heard screams, hollers, and wildfires. You would have seen them, the likes of which you rarely see. There was a complete and total combustion because of the excitement around a story that is so ridiculous, and is Judge Merchan trying his best to be as transparent as possible. The likes of Fox News doesn't take a single second to fact check what they're about to say and just goes completely nuclear, not to mention a bunch of different individuals. So I'll show you a lot of different right-wingers' response to the story that we're talking about in this segment throughout the segment. Before I give you the context of the story, let me just play for you Hannity from last night, then look at some responses, then I'll fill you in on the context and why Hannity's broadcast here is a little bit silly.
And earlier tonight, this is huge, Judge Merchan from the Trump trial sent a letter to lawyers on both sides in that case, letting them know that before the verdict was announced, a Facebook user, I believe the day before the verdict, left a comment on one of the state court system's posts writing, quote, "My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted." Okay, was the fix-in from the beginning? Is this cause for a mistrial?
Was the fix-in from the beginning, he says. And a very somber night on Hannity. He had to bring on the experts to break this down.
Miranda, I got to get to you, but I got to get to the issue of what this letter is saying. Greg Jarrett, your legal analysis here. Is this now, I would assume, a motion for mistrial is going out and being written as we speak?
Yeah. No, right. I got that. But we did it yesterday. Okay. Corporate is breathing down my neck. I don't want to have to say this again. I know I've done it too much. But if you could please click the subscribe button, that would be fantastic. 2 days ago, we got 10,000 subscribers. Yesterday, we got 6,000. That's still incredible. That used to take weeks and weeks and weeks. But let's see if we can do another 10K subscriber day today just by clicking that subscribe button.
Oh, absolutely. If it is true, and that's a big if, but if it is true,
not for Hannity,
it is grounds to vacate the conviction and order a new trial. I think.
All right. So again, serious stuff on a serious news network is what we're told. Well, let's look again. I'm giving you a little bit of suspense, making you wait if you haven't seen this already. But you have someone saying this is not huge unless you're really, really small. There's more meat in an oatmeal cookie than there is in this story. And that's Rich Schoenstein. And then you have Art Candy saying, no, and you're ridiculous, Hannity. You also have El Coyote saying, I love when Hannity embarrasses himself. And then someone just with all the class in the world saying, oh gosh, I have inside information from my cousin's wife's friend in Jersey that Hannity likes to roll up the window. Why do we pull this one? The windows in his Bentley while sitting in the Fox Park garage and huff his own, I'll say, flatulence. Huge if true, a full investigation is required. And that is the quality of these Fox News broadcasts, is what Ron Dorland said there. Well, David Korn gives us some insight into why this is silly. It was, and to give you the full understanding of the story, I will deliver this as written. It was a shit post. Take 5 minutes to figure it out. And what he means by that is that the comment is attributed, as media reports, to a user named Michael Anderson, whose profile describes himself as a professional shitposter. He's a troll. And actually, I think he defines it somewhere, including a definition of the term. Shitposts are generally intentionally designed to derail discussions or cause the biggest reaction with the least effort. That message has apparently been deleted. So essentially what happened was the judge was made aware of the fact that a comment had been posted before the verdict, and it was from this account. And so in the interest of full transparency, before it had been looked into, Judge Juan Merchan made both Trump's side and the prosecution side aware of this comment. It's kind of funky. We want to just be as clear and transparent with you all as possible, and then we'll look into it. And instead of going, see, this Judge Juan Merchan, he's not messing around. This isn't something suspicious where he's trying to take down Trump. He clearly, as we've seen so many times over, is doing everything to keep this as above board as possible, given the significance of a former president now being a convicted felon. And in the interest of that, he was being maybe a little too transparent and gave fodder to the right wing before they had all the information to lose their ever-loving minds and lie about what this means. Trump posting on Truth Social, mistrial. Well, now we understand this is very much not cause for mistrial, because maybe it was a MAGA guy, maybe it wasn't, but it was someone who coins himself, identifies as a shit poster, or I guess you could say a troll, just wants to rile people up. And so he did that, and he is a professional at that, as he says. Strange way to spend your time. I think that's one of the most ridiculous ways to waste your energy on the internet, is to say things needlessly provocative. Now, Ron Filipkowski did a bunch of great coverage of this. Midas Touch, huge credit to them, immediately got on this and uncovered exactly who this individual, not who they are, not doxing them, but looked into their account and realized, oh, this was just them trying to rile people up and being silly, as they explicitly admit. And Ron Filipkowski posted a few different things. This one got me laughing so hard. The OG cousinship poster, Nicki Minaj. This is a flashback. My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. I forgot about this. He called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. So this is the quality of the story being obsessed over by MAGA now. And then Mark Levin said, surprise, surprise, crooked juror in Trump case. How many more? And Ron Filipkowski responded to that, saying, surprise, surprise, every one of the 4 legal scholars Trump cited every day at the courthouse fell for the hoax. Very reliable sources of info on the legal system. You then have Phil Holloway saying, uh-oh, it looks like there was juror misconduct in the Trump trial. They wait no seconds, no time, spreading misinformation. Just see if in 1 hour any fact checks will come out. We knew these jurors would not be able to avoid telling their friends and relatives that they were going to get Trump. It's time for a mistrial with prejudice and no retrial. But will Merchan do the right thing? And Ron Filipkowski also posted Mike Lee saying, we should all have t-shirts printed. My cousin's a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. And thank you, folks, for all your hard work. That was the post. And Ron Filipkowski said, I agree. It's one of the few things that could make you look dumber than a Trump shirt. Patrick Bet David, if you ever get jury duty, don't tell your cousin about the verdict the day before it's announced, especially on Facebook. Double dumb. And Ron Filipkowski said, falling for an obvious hoax is dumber. And we'll just keep going. And actually, that's the end of the absolute demolition of this nonsense. But here's a really good point made to sort of wrap this up by Filipkowski. Today was a perfect example of how effective an immediate rapid reaction can kill a conspiracy's effectiveness. Only a handful of the crazies ran with the cousin hoax, but it would have been much more if we went into 2024 the same way we went into 2016, 2020, and 2022, not this time. What he means is you have incredible people like him and many others doing incredible work, many associated with Midas Touch, others outside of Midas Touch, and trying to combat the wild misinformation online. Because what we saw for a while, what he's referencing there is, you saw this really active online aggressive culture in MAGA media for some time. And they would be able to push out lies so quickly and so effectively. But there wasn't an opposite infrastructure for good, right? There wasn't an opposite truth-oriented response group online. And so we would have to wait for mainstream media to fact check something. It would take so long. And so here, it was really good to have those people, quote unquote, on the ground in the media world, in the MAGA media world, to quickly debunk this ridiculous idea. But you're still hearing people say, oh, we got proof that the whole trial was rigged because one guy on Facebook who admits himself to be someone who just posts nonsense for fun, posting nonsense for fun, And that's enough for MAGA to spiral out of control. Let me know what you thought of this bonkers story in the comments. And if you want to get the daily bonus show to get more content, a whole show every day, just for our members, you can do so by clicking the join button below.